Welcome, welcome. Thursday Night Live back on 4th and 9 to victory. I'm your boy, Fido and Kristen.
And I'm your boy BG. Back at it. Talk
Yes,
Trojan football.
yes, sir. Back at it. Man, before we get into our main topics for tonight, we'll give everybody a little time to come on in and get going. So before we get to our normal four down series here on 4th and 9, man, we were talking a little bit about the NCAA, right? I want to get your opinion on it, so everyone else can hear it as well. As far as some things going on, um, and your take on it. My take is I feel like the NCAA. I mean, anytime they get sued, they're losing. They feel like they're losing the reins, right? As
Mhm.
far as control over this thing, right? Losing power and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Some things happened with Indiana. It's crazy. So their safety. A judge ruled in his favor in September that he can play this year. They be putting a temporary freeze on saying they're ineligible or whatnot.
Right.
The player played the whole season. The reason that the judge ruled in favor of the temporary restraining order, they said they knew they wouldn't have an answer before season ended, right? So they
Right.
allowed the kid to play. The season is ended. The kid is on his way to the NFL Combine. He did. It was for his sixth or seventh year. They gave him an extra
I think
year.
it was the 6 year.
Yeah, he's on his way to the Combine, and so he was like, "No use of me to continue to waste time and fight this lawsuit. Season is over and all that." The
Right.
NCAA is saying, "Nah, we want to take this to the end. To see how the judge rule, because if the judge says rule in our favor and say you ineligible, then we have the power to take take your wins away, right,
Yeah,
for the
strip the
season."
wins and the championship away, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about it. So unfortunately, NCAA doesn't govern the playoffs, and they have no power over the playoffs.
Okay.
So all they would be able to do is strip the wins, and and Indiana will still be like a
De
four
facto
win.
champion, de facto
Yeah,
champion.
they'll be a 4-win national champion. They still have
Uh-huh.
a national championship because the NCAA don't have any power to take. They don't control the playoffs or anything like that. So all they can do is take away their regular season wins. But I think the NCAA is trying to find a way that if the judge do deem him ineligible, to strip them of the victories and trying to find some way to steal the championship. But just reading a lot of articles and everything else, it seems like there's no way possible for them to take the national championship since they don't govern the playoff.
Right,
But
right.
to me, man, I feel like the season is over. The judge said he could play for the year. Just let it go. It's done. It's done with now. You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about that and what NCAA is trying to do with Indiana?
Well, they're always, a day late and a dollar short, right? But I do believe that they have their picks and chooses of who they want to punish. I'm just waiting on the hammer to drop for a lot of these colleges to form a union together and say, you know what, to heck with the NCAA, we don't need them anymore. I understand that sometimes it's in the best interest to back off, certain situations, like with the whole USC thing. We didn't threaten USC didn't threaten to sue the NCAA over that whole Richard Bush thing. They just pretty much complied after they saw which direction it was heading and took the punishment, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
had that role been, had one of these SEC teams, and you live in the South, you know how the politics work down in the South, had that role been reversed and one of those SEC teams were faced with the same type of situation, they wouldn't have took that line down. But the thing is, the majority of the SEC teams would have formed together and would not have allowed the NCAA to do that to one of their flagship programs because it's pretty much, hey, look, if you fall, we all fall. So um, again, I'm just waiting on the hammer to drop on the NCAA. At some point in the near future, I can see a lot of these programs saying, you know what, to heck with the NCAA. And I think the same thing happened with the basketball program down at Alabama too. They had a player that had been off, and I think he actually played in the G League. I think he
Yeah,
played a
that's
couple
crazy.
games with the Spurs, and Alabama threatened to sue, or the kid threatened to sue, and next thing you know, he was playing.
Right.
until a judge decided on it. Just so happened that they decided a lot quicker than what the football, program would have. Conveniently, they don't get an answer to the end of the season, right? So the damage is done. So I'm kind of like, falling in, in accordance with what you said. Hey, look, the season over with. The kid played. He's off to the NFL. It's not like you could take his punishment to the NFL. So, you know, just forget about it. But the NCAA has to show some type of authority in this situation, even though they're powerless at this point. Right now, they're just a figurehead right now. Shout out
Yeah.
to everybody that's joined the live, man. Shout out to Light the Torch, B Jones, and Blackie Chan. Fight on Natties. We appreciate you guys showing up.
Yeah. And to know that the NCAA doesn't govern the playoffs or have no control over that, I mean, Indiana's not going to care that you take away their regular season games on
Right,
paper. I mean, they
right.
still have the national championship. They know they went what 15, 16 and 0,
They
beat
do something like
everybody.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you can take it away on paper. I guess maybe in 30 years, when somebody look at the history book, they won't realize how good that team was. But
Mhm.
university, that team, everybody in this period who watched it would know. So to me,
Right.
it's just real strange, man. Like the kid saying, "Ain't no use us to continue to go to court. The season over. What am I wasting money for and time for to keep going to court to fight for eligibility? And I done played the whole year already."
I wouldn't even show up, man.
Well, he withdrew the lawsuit.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he withdrew the lawsuit
Yeah,
because
that's right.
like there's no
Okay,
use to fighting it no more. The judge
that's
said he can
true.
play the whole
That's
year. He
true.
played the whole year. NCAA said, well, the judge ruled that he can play, but we never did, right? And they
Right.
just had a temporary injunction to allow him to play. So they want to fight this thing all the way out. What they hoping is the judge say, "Oh, I looked at all this stuff and you deem, yeah, he shouldn't have been eligible." So then they're gonna try to go back and snatch, what I'm saying, wins and stuff for the season, for the games he played in, which was all of them, which is I think it's just crazy, man. At this point, it's like if you're gonna fight it, you should have fought it before the season. Um, Man, you should or during the season, but at this point, we went a good month and two from the national championship game, and come on, NCAA. We gotta do better. But all
I
right,
think
man.
they're toast, man. The
Oh, go ahead.
NCAA is done. They are toast, man. They can hang it up, man.
Yep.
Right now, they
Yep.
just collecting money. If you ask me, they just collecting money.
And it seems like they're just trying to hold on to whatever power that they have. It's slowly been what's going on, Polly. It's
Yeah.
slowly been, leaving their hands, right? And it's like
Right.
they don't have anything. And to me, this is just an effort to say, hey, we still want some power. We need something because we get whooped in court every time we
Right.
go to court.
Right. Right.
Like we're
Right.
losing. So all
Well,
right.
I'll say this. I'll say this. Any team that's threatening to sue them, they'll back off. If you say,
Yep.
"Hey, look, we're just going to take you to court," they'll back off.
Yep. For the most part, unless you a USC player.
Right. We don't mind getting sued.
All right. Speaking of NCAA, there's some new possible rules as far as April, right here in a month
Okay.
that they're trying to put in for infractions, right? So we moved to the one portal that's in January,
Right.
that portal window, right? But as of April this year, the NCAA is trying to put in uh, that anyone who has an infraction, any players that go to another school that didn't enter within that period, they get picked up, they get talked to, they go to another school, they transfer out. What they're trying to stop is people saying, okay, I didn't go in the portal in January, but I'm leaving this college in February, and all you gotta do is enroll at a new school and you can play. So that's what they're trying to stop. Um, the new rule that they're trying to put in is that anybody that get caught, right? So if any school adds a football transfer who did not enter the portal during the January window, the NCAA is saying for the next year, they're trying to put this in as an April, right? A
Uh-huh.
6-game suspension for the head coach of that team. And when they say suspension, they mean real suspension. They can't be in meetings, they can't recruit. They can't be at practice, nothing. So basically, half a season vacation. They can't have anything to do with the school.
Okay.
The school will get fined 20% of its total football budget. That's a lot of money because
Okay.
these football budgets is crazy.
Yeah.
And also roster reduction to where you will lose 5 spots the following year. Right? It's up to
Out
105.
of out of 105 allotted that you have, you're gonna lose five.
Yeah, you'll lose 5.
Okay.
That's that's the rule for it.
All right.
2-part question. So first, do you agree? Do you like what the NCAA is doing as far as trying to crack down? We seen what happened with the linebacker from Clemson to Ole Miss.
Mhm.
Went to class, left class, transferred, went to LSU. I mean, to Ole Miss.
Yeah,
We know
no
the
man.
situation. We know the situation happened with Damon Williams at Washington. He eventually came back because Washington was gonna sue him for his NIL or whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, so the first part is, do you actually agree with the NCAA and what they're trying to do here by putting some safeguards on this portal so it's not the wild wild west? And the
Uh-huh.
second is, this is probably look like it's going to happen and go into effect in April.
Mhm.
And we already have the one portal window in January. So with what the NCAA has put in place already with the one window and the uh, penalty cost for infractions that they're doing,
Mhm.
after you tell me your thoughts on what the NCAA doing, do you think USC should have brought back the spring game this year?
Well, it's already too late. It's been the Wild Wild West. It became the Wild Wild West as soon as NIL and a portal started. Now they're trying to get a range on it. And like I said in the last segment, they're always a day late and a dollar short. The NCAA is only digging their grave deeper. Once the coaches decide to get together and form a true alliance, and let me preface it by saying this also. And I hate to use the cliche. It used to be honor amongst thieves. Well, they need to bring that back. They need to bring that back because that kid getting a text from his agent, I believe, while he was sitting in class at Clemson, an amount comes through, an offer comes through for a larger amount. He gets up out of class and heads to his apartment, packs up, and from what I understand, didn't even tell the coaching staff. He just told the administration office that he was hopping in the portal. Next thing you know, he's at Ole Miss. So again, because there were no guardrails initially set up for this whole thing, the NCAA could have avoided this entire thing. They called themselves by backing out of it, hoping that that the schools will come back and ask for some type of reorganization, or to get some type of control back to college football. Well, it only got worse, right? When we talk about the amount of money that was being passed around, so no longer do you have Batman coming in the back door. They pulling up with the Brinks truck in front of the kid's house, and you couple that with the portal, the free agency. You had a better in college than you would, in the NFL, right? At least in the NFL, you would have a 3-4 year contract. Well, this year is pretty much 1 year mercenaries going to the highest bidder, and then you add that, with the portal, it only spelled double trouble for a lot of the programs who could not compete, with a lot of these big time, programs who had big time donors. So it should have been some guardrails put in place so stuff like that would not have happened. But unfortunately, it's a little too late. What you're talking about is one of these loopholes. And let me know if I'm wrong or not. One of these loopholes that say, well, hey, look, if we don't hit the portal, what we'll do is we'll just withdraw and then show up at another program, right? So
Right.
that's just a way of subverting the policy for the NCAA. So how do you fix that? You need to bring it back. Like I said, I hate to use that cliche. It needs to be honor amongst thieves. All of the coaches are going to have to get together and form a majority union. Hey, look, if this happens, no matter whether or not one or two road coaches decide to, hey, look, they're going to take these type of players in a way, we're just going to exclude them from any type of playoff run, that a playoff organizational chart that we decide to go, whichever direction we decide to go, which therefore is going to do what? Eventually starve out their program. If nobody's going to play them, it's going to eventually starve out their program, i.e. Notre Dame. You're starting to see a lot of coaches do what? jump on that bandwagon. Okay, since the NCAA is going to sweeten the deal for you and they're not doing it for anybody else, let's just stop scheduling them. So until we have those type of agreement amongst gentlemen at this level of football, college football, you can continue to see situations like that where that kid gets up, walks out of class, and next thing you know, he has his U-Haul backing up to another program. Now, as far as the spring game is concerned, of course, I would have loved to see the spring game come back, considering that they somewhat um, semi fixed the portal with there being one portal entry in January, and also we have a no nonsense GM in place that's already made it understood that, hey, look, if you guys are out there looking at other schools, we're gonna go in a different direction. We're not gonna entertain anybody continuously coming back to the well to dip their ladle down in there for more water.
Man, I totally agree. And for me, this is one thing I don't have a problem with the NCAA on, is trying to put these infractions in, because like you said, it is the wild wild west already,
Right,
and they're trying to put some guardrails on, but how quick everything moved, and they were getting sued and everything. I believe just the whole NIL and portal thing was just done too fast, and nobody thought about downstream effects. But I do like this move though, and I actually do hope it go through because it's gonna stop a lot of that, right? The incident you were just talking about with the linebacker from Clemson, the Damon Williams situation, right?
right,
Um, even the Pregnon situation with us and things like that.
right,
It'll stop that stuff from, because really it's not the kids, it's the agents, it's everybody else who's trying to make a living off the kids,
right.
that's
That's
making
true.
these deals behind closed doors and being sneaky and continue to have all these other conversations, even though a player doesn't sign an NIL deal and stuff like that, and finding these loopholes. If you can, that's it, BC. The word commitment needs to make a comeback. Exactly. Um, if you can remember, it was 2 years ago. The kid at Wisconsin, he tried to go into the portal, and Wisconsin wouldn't let him. And Miami, because Miami was the one reaching out to him last, and Miami got him a lawyer, and the lawyer was able to do that loophole, right, where
Right.
he withdrew from Wisconsin and went and enrolled in school at Miami. That's all you have to do. So this rule right here is definitely going to stop that loophole. So universities, they'll think twice before. But again, it stopped one loophole, but not at all. Like if you really want someone, they're gonna find a way. But
Yeah.
as things comes, you gotta challenge it. But I do agree with that. I agree with the NCAA going to one portal in January. I agree with that. The thing I would like them to do with the portal is to go back to how it used to be with transfer rules, right? That if you're underclassmen in transfer, you got to sit out a year. If you're a grad transfer, you can play immediately. If you're coach leave, you can play immediately. But any other
Right.
situation, you got to sit out a year, and that'll stop a whole lot of that as well. Uh, but with what they're doing, we're going to one portal. These new infractions they're trying to bring in April. There's no way to me that USC shouldn't have brought back the spring game. The whole reason that the spring game was not being played is because people was using it as audition tapes, right?
Right.
And
Right. Exactly
other
correct.
teams
Yeah.
were scouting. Other teams were scouting like, oh well, he not starting there. He'll second or third string. We can offer him some more money, and he can come with us in this spring window. You know what I'm saying? In this
Right.
portal and come on. That's not the case no more, right? So why not bring back the spring game? The NCAA realized what happened with. That's why they went to one portal, right? They realized ESPN, everybody where spring games used to come on TV and all that, they lost revenue from that, right? You remember Colorado with Dion, that first spring game. I mean, you would have thought that was somebody homecoming. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
It
Right.
was prime time ESPN. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And
Right.
so everybody wants the game back, even the NCAA, which is a reason they said, okay, all these people canceling their spring game. What can we do? You got to give it to NCAA on that. And so there's like, all right, let's just make it one portal, put it in July. I mean, January. That way people don't have to worry about people trying to steal their players and things like that. So that's not
I
an
want
issue
you
no
to
more.
take a look at what Black and Chan said. in there. Let me know what you think.
As long as we have a buyout in the contract, yep, that would help. That would help. That you pay. That would help. Nico brother left Arkansas when Nico transferred. Arkansas sued him to get their NIL money back.
I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, his brother. Yep, Arkansas had sued his brother to get their money back. But it'll definitely. I mean, that'd just be like a coach's contract, right? Like how Penn State wanted Deontay Lynn was like, okay, you buy him out, you can go, you can buy a contract out. That would definitely help. Will it stop all cases? No, because you got some schools that are like, oh, yeah, we'll pay your buyout and give you an NIL deal on top of that. But it
Yeah.
won't be as you're right, BC. It won't be as much as it is right now. But I definitely think we should have had the spring game back, man. Like, there's no reason not to. But that's kind of me selfishly want some USC football and want to see what we
Let me
look like
ask you a
too.
question, and we can speculate on it. SC not having a spring game, you think that was more so of a coach's decision or a GM decision?
Well, last year, we did have a GM last year around that time. He came in January. Man, I don't know. I think we didn't have it last year, and they like what they did last year with friends and family there, and it helped with recruiting and all that. So they said just keep it going. I don't know who decision it is. I would think when it comes to a decision like that, the GM and the athletic director got more pull than the coach on that type of decision.
Yeah.
All right. So our coaches had their spring interviews. One thing I want to say is that USC got to invest in some better like audio equipment and stuff for these press conferences.
But they be using their iPhone. They put their
I don't know
iPhone.
what they, I don't or something, man. But at least you can hear what the coaches and everything said. I think it's a coach's decision. Chad Bellner and Notre Dame, and yeah, but he wasn't there in this situation though, where it was too. He wasn't when he was at Notre Dame. It wasn't the two portal thing and what was going on last year. So we don't know if he would have switched that at Notre Dame or not.
Mm-hmm.
But out of watching all the coaches, position coaches, and everyone do their interviews, what position coach interview impressed you the most, and why? And as of right now, who do you see being your MVP coach for 2026 on the USC roster?
Well, the coach that impressed me the most was Mike Eckler. He talked about
Ray Charles.
No, not that part. Not that part. You have to remember, Mike Eckler was here in 2013. He talked about the type of leadership in the old players like Sewell and Big Cat Leonard Williams. He talked about Hayes Pollard. He talked about Deion Bailey. He talked about those guys, but he also talked about teaching technique. And what stood out to me was one of his comments. He said that he wanted his impact on it to make Riley a better coach. He wanted his impact to make Patterson a better defensive coordinator. He talked about making his head coaches and his head coordinators better at winning, right? He talked about his impact on special teams and his impact at the linebacker position. It was mainly special teams, though. But he says he mentioned something about having the players in position to make good decisions at a high speed. And that's what we lacked on last year, especially at the special teams spot. You remember a couple games we had leads and ended up, falling behind due to what? Special teams. It's something that we haven't really emphasized since Riley got here in 2022, right? Was the special teams. Now, I wouldn't say that it hurt us as much as it did last season over his course of 4 to 5 years. Now he's going on his 5th season. But it was Mike Eckler. Now, I do have a position coach. I think this is going to be more important. We'll cover that at a later time. But for me, it was Mike Eckler. He impressed me the most. And what was your second part?
Who do you think be the coach of the year for USC in 2026?
Well, it really depends on, I think that's to be determined right now. I think, um,
Well, of course it is. We
yeah, yeah,
of course it's to determine. But who do you
yeah.
from the speeches and things you heard from the position group they're coaching and what's coming? Who do you think group gonna stand out?
Who I think that it's going to have to be that linebacker core. Again, Mike Eckler, the experience that he has at coaching linebackers, is going to be an addition now. From what I understand, Ryan is still on the staff, right? He just considered to be an analyst now. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that's the case. So I think it's going to be Eckler. I'm interested in seeing that's why I wanted to see a spring game, Chris, because I'm interested to see the leap that our linebackers take from being underneath, you know, um, the old DC and the old, position coaches to this one now in the new DC. Are they going to be more aggressive? Are they going to be stronger? Are they going to be faster? Are they going to step up and fill the gaps? You understand what I'm saying? Are they going to make, are they going to be short tacklers in open space? Are they going to be able to read the running backs coming out of the backfield? I'm interested in seeing the improvement of our linebackers. Now we can say, well, hey, look, their play was impacted by the poor performance of the defensive line, and you would have some validity to that, right? But it was also some plays to where I saw where hey, look, you know, that kid should have made that play. Where's the linebacker at? And I can remember one play in particular where I think you
I,
mentioned it one game,
I know what you
and
about to say. I know.
who were they playing? Who was SC playing that day? Was it Oregon?
UCLA.
UCLA? Yeah, yeah. And it's like the linebacker was
No,
just
it was
standing there.
Iowa. It
It
was
was Iowa.
Iowa. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Iowa
and
game. He was like,
it's
he was
like
like, what is he doing? He was just
his
standing out
response
there
was
looking.
delayed. It's like
Yeah,
his response was delayed. He was just
he
standing
was
there.
looking to the sideline, and the play had started already.
So I'm looking for that. That's what I'm looking for. So hopefully we get better play. I know we got Stevens coming back. We
I'll
got
fight
David
on
Walker
Nutty.
coming back. We got some impact freshmen that expected to get some burn. From what I understand, what's the kid named Ely? We got the other kid. What's his name? Newbie, Elijah Newbie. I think you just mentioned him. And we got a couple of transfers, right? And I forgot about the other kid from Mater Dei that's coming in. What's his name? Scott.
Yeah,
I forgot about him. Nobody's really talking about him, right? So he should be there in the spring too, right? He should be there right now. So I'm interested to see the type of the leap that the linebackers take. So for me, it's going to be Eckler, his impact on the linebackers, and his impact on special teams.
all right. So the coach that interview impressed me the most was Zach Hanson. Um,
Okay.
and I was impressed with Zach Hanson because it was really honest evaluation. He clearly stated what we all seen what his position group needs to do to take that next step to win a national championship, and the plan going forward to do it, and what he's addressing. Right? He, I appreciated his interview because by far, I mean, you can say Lane and Makai Lemon 1A, 1B as far as what was the position group of the year, right?
Right.
Offensive line, wide receivers. As good as the offensive line played, I mean, I've been on record stating that when it mattered against the elite teams, injuries or not, we didn't perform. We were getting beat by 4 men rush. We couldn't run the ball, right, which
Hmm.
definitely hurt, the offense, right? Not the reason we lost, but it is what it is.
Right.
And his honest evaluation and what he is saying he's seen in film and what they're working on to fix, it gives me confidence because we've seen what he did in year one with that group,
Right.
with all the injuries and all that. And what he was saying was that we did a lot of good things, but we played nowhere near how good we needed to play to be a championship team. Right? He talked about ingraining these guys that physical mentality. Right? Not covering people, not getting their way on blocks, but driving them to the ground, pushing them back, finishing blocks.
Right.
Not just covering up consistency. Right? And those type of things. And so he wasn't when I was listening to him, I was like, oh, this is not just coaches talk. Like he knows what needs to get better, and he's gonna attack it. And he said that's what they're attacking every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so his interview impressed me the most because he easily by far, you can say 1A, 1B, with the wide receivers, had the best position group of the year. He could have came up there and gloated and right and just gave us coaches talk, but he came and gave us his honest assessment um, of the group and what they need to do. He even gave us a little nuggets, right,
Mm-hmm.
about moving some certain people around, giving some people some reps at center. You know what I'm saying, and things
This
like
was
that.
Tobias Raymond when he was talking about moving
Right,
himself.
right, man. If Raymond moved to center, I mean, of course, we need depth. Like I like kill switch Connor, but we do know he get hurt. But if Raymond moves to center, man, can you know how big that offensive line gonna be? It's it, and it's clear how we've been recruiting that we want to get
Uh-huh.
bigger at the offensive line, which makes sense, right? You want to be
Right,
able to move people, especially those elite guys. But if
right.
if Raymond is at this man, that line, man,
It'd
from
be
tackle to
huge.
tackle,
It'll be
that's gonna
huge.
be a huge line.
Because
Yeah.
not only that, speaking on that, when you talk about moving around some people to become a little more experienced and versatile on the offensive line, and you talk about potentially throwing in the mix of those freshmen. I heard them speak about Brett Colajay, the freshman from IMG, potentially playing at left guard next to Elijah Page, and even Kenye Pepe coming in and playing some right tackle his freshman season. So I think it's huge that those kids are starting in the spring. Out of the 35 kids that they brought in, I think either 32 or 33 started this spring.
Mm-hmm.
What
Okay.
coming in the spring. So that's going to be huge. It's going to pay big dividends for the offensive lineman like that. But I'm interested to see, like you said, if they can move, if Tobias Raymond can get that center position locked down, we are talking about um, a bigger offensive
Bohemians.
line. Yeah, yeah,
Bohemians.
yeah. We talk about some big offensive linemen that can move, right? But it's also going to be very important to who, none other than our quarterback, Jaden Maava. When we talk about losing Makai Lemon, we talk about losing Lake McCree and Jacoby Lane. If you notice in the bowl game, he kind of struggled because he didn't have that chemistry. Well, we're not bringing back too many experienced receivers outside of Tanook Hines, the kid that what's his name, Williams. I can't remember his first name, and the transfer from NC State, pretty much everybody behind them are new, freshmen, So the running game is going to be very important. Okay, if you got some guys up front blocking for you like that, if I'm Riley, I'm leaning on my two running backs next season. As a matter of fact, I might try to get one of my running backs a Heisman between Waymo and
And
between
that's
King
it.
Miller. I'm leaning on them all season. You have to
And
remember
that's what
also,
those four
yeah,
that's what those four big games gonna come down to, right?
right,
In the
right,
big games last year, we had no run game at all, right? It was all
right.
on Jaden Shoulder. Any quarterback that's got to throw 40 plus times in a game,
Hmm.
trust me, they're gonna give you an interception.
Right.
Anytime a team can get pressure on you with just four and stop the run with just four and drop seven, that's a hard way to play football, offensively. So it's definitely gonna come down to that. That's why I definitely love what Hanson was saying in his interviews. Um, who I think is gonna be, right now, preseason, just based off, the interviews, what we're going off on, what we heard and what we've seen, coach of the year, man. I'm going with my heart and not my mind because my mind tell me Hanson, but my heart is gonna go with who I want to be because
Who was that?
this coach has to be in order for us to be a playoff and national champion contender, and that's Gary Patterson. So the defense has to get better, man. And so I'm gonna go with my heart and saying GP gonna have these boys playing better. And so I'm going with my heart, not my mind. I'm going with GP because it has to
I,
get better.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Riley, one thing about Riley gonna put some points on the board, right? He gonna figure out a way to get in the end zone. I've seen Riley struggle at halftime. We go in 6 points, go in 3 points. We come out, 27, 30 points. So he'll figure it out. Our only hiccup has been, and really Riley's only hiccup, I think, that has kept him away from getting a national championship. At least two out of the, how long has he been a head coach now? Not just at USC, but at Oklahoma too. He spent about what 4 years as a head coach at Oklahoma, going to so by 8 or 9 years, he would have at least 3 chips if he had a defense. Even a top 30 defense, Riley would have at least 2 championships. When you look at the type of quarterbacks that he's had, the generational quarterbacks, when you talk about a Baker Mayfield, you talk about a Kyler Murray, not even Baker Mayfield. Let's go with Kyler Murray. When you talk about Jalen Hurts that can get the job done, when you talk about Caleb Williams, he's had enough talent on offense to win it. His only problem has been defense. So I kind of agree with you. It's got to be GP. It's got to be him.
Got you. All right. So now, what are your thoughts on week 0? San Jose State. You like the pickup? You hate it? You wanted to see a bigger team? How do you feel about us scheduling San Jose State week 0?
It's a good preseason game. We talked about this last season. Last season we had what? 2 to 3 preseason games. I think it was 2, and then we went into conference play. We went into conference play with Purdue, right? This season we got San Jose State, we got Fresno State, and we got Louisiana, right? Perfect. I think Fresno, out of the 3, Fresno State was probably going to serve as the stiffer competition. We talk about the type of caliber coach that they have. Remember, he was our linebackers coach, right? And he impressed. Then he got the head coaching job over at Fresno State. So for me, I think it's a good preseason game. What's most important is we get out on them and jump out of them, and build up enough lead by the time the beginning of the third quarter hits. When you talk about San Jose State, I'm looking forward to seeing Jonas Williams in the game. That's going to be key. Getting those snaps for Jonas Williams. So especially, in that first game and those games against, Fresno State, we talk about, not Fresno State. Yeah, Fresno State, the second game, Louisiana, the third game. I think it's a build-up, and it gets us ready. It gives us a good look at what our offense and our defense is going to look like, especially the defense. Can we hold them to, 5 or 6 3-and-outs? Can we hold them, to keep them out of red zone? Can we keep them off plus side of territory? Can we get some turnovers? Can we get some stops? I think it's going to build. Plus, it's going to build confidence in your team, right? So playing in games like this, I wouldn't call them meaningful games, meaningless games, but I will say that they are more so important preseason games to get your young talent some burn. Young talent, I get what you're saying, Sam Hewitt. Why not him coming in and back up Jaden? But when we talk about the future of the program, in my opinion, you want to get Jonas Williams as many snaps as possible, because he's gonna have to carry us after Sam Hewitt is gone. Sam Hewitt last season, is going to end with Jaden Miles last season, which is 2026. Shout out to Light the Torch for being in here. Guns, Blackie Chan.
Guns said he a good fake punter.
B. Jones.
Guns,
he has a good.
We might not
arm
be able
on
to
him.
get with that one.
He has a good arm on him. Don't get me wrong. I like that fake punt. He really put some spin on that ball when he threw it out there. Who did he throw that pass to? Was it to Nook? If I remember correctly, when he did that fake punt.
Yeah, it was
Sam Hewitt. To Nook. Yeah. So, Sam, I will say this though, Young Tiny. If we ever get into a situation where it get kind of sticky for Jaden, and knock on wood, something happened in one of these big games, I would go with Sam Hewitt. I would go with him there. But if we talk about preseason and getting that freshman some snaps, meaningful snaps, that's going to be important going into the 2027 season, going into the 2028 season. I'm going to try to build up a big enough lead to do that for my freshmen. Now, I'm not saying not give Sam any snaps at all, but my primary focus is going to be on getting Jonas Williams as much experience as possible.
Got you. So my thoughts on week 0 is I don't have a problem with playing San Jose State. Um, it's actually yeah, they're about the same. You know, Georgia Southern. I think Georgia Southern beat San Jose State. San Jose State lost their quarterback. He transferred out, and their top receiver.
Mhm.
Um, so it's definitely a good game. It's a home game. Um, what I'm interested in is what everybody else is interested in, right? To see it's week 0. I want to see how this defense comes out and play.
Right.
Let's not forget when we had Kalen Williams, we played San Jose State the last year of Grinch, and it told me in game 1 that oh Lord, this defense is not better. Yep, yeah, we beat them 56-28. Um, but 28 points against San Jose State was just it was too much, and we were
Mhm.
struggling to get off the field. So it'll be a good little test to really see what the defense looks like. Is the defense going to be better next year? We get to see if the linebackers is we can see if the linebackers is playing downhill.
Right.
Are we gonna give up to San Jose State 4 yards a carry or more? You know what I'm saying? Which should
Mhm.
not be right. So that's a lot of things that I'm gonna be looking at. I mean, just looking at the box score from the last time we played them. I mean, it's that was the Grinch defense, but yeah,
You're right. Right.
um, yeah. I mean, but they average over 7 yards of carry in that game, right?
That's
But no
crazy.
use. The numbers don't look good defensively, but we're not even on that. We're 2 defensive coordinators away from that now, and a totally different team. But definitely, it's going to be a good game to start with.
But you want to know what's ironic about that, Chris? Before you move on, nobody really paid any attention to it because how well we performed on offense. You talk about having that Heisman winning quarterback in Caleb. Nobody really paid any attention to it.
I paid attention to it.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to harp on it when you winning. When you losing, it's different. You become more analytical. But when you're winning, sure you can say, well, hey, look, we're gonna look beyond the numbers, but you know, it's hard to
Yeah,
do
because
that when you're having a good
I
time.
mean, I've always looked at it like that because I come from
Uh-huh.
the coaching tree and coaching and background that that's why we have that segment, right? Never
Right,
accept nothing in the win that you win in the loss,
right.
right? Because it's going in my mind, it's going to hurt you if you can't stop the game week 1 against an inferior opponent, like
Mhm.
that's a red flag. That's the issue.
Right.
That's what you should be harping at in practice. We got to fix. We got to fix because when you get against a team that has equally or more talent or a little less talent, it's going to cause you issues.
Right. True. True. I agree.
All right, we'll get on this and then we'll get to open it up for some people to call. Man, we both was watching Joe Clack uh, YouTube channel. He always has some good stuff out, right? On his trajectory list, who is he buying stock in as far as program? Not for the 26th season, but just program in general and where the program is heading. He's buying stock in USC, right? That our stock is rising, right? Based off,
Mhm.
recruiting, facilities, the trajectory of the team, how the team played better last year than the year before. Um, I hope Marlo's not on here. Sorry, Marlo, but
Right.
the team that he has on the downward trend, he's not buying stock in. Whose stock is dropping from what he's seen the last couple of years in NIL things like that recruiting is Alabama, but he has
Mhm.
USC was his top team that's trending up as far as our program. What are your thoughts on that? And do you agree?
I agree. When you talk about just having a structure in place, having a standard, I think Bolton showed up and he developed. We talked about culture a few shows ago, and the word standard just stuck to me. So he showed up. He implemented that no visit standard, right? So if you take on a visit, you take a visit, you're saying pretty much, you're not committed to us anymore. So you start right there as your foundation. You bring in some coaches. The offense, like I said, I trust in Riley to put up the points. We just had to get the defense right. Now that we gotten the defense right, we gotten in brought in some more experienced coaches. I think that's going to help sharpen the tools of our head coach. We brought in some more. We started off with the number one recruiting class in the country, right? So you couple that with how they're doing on the recruiting trail, for the 2027 season. I think that the team is bought in. I think that they're starting to see you start to see more of a bond amongst the position groups. I see a lot of videos where I think what was the defensive line they went bowling, and they're still working in the spring, getting stronger, preparing for spring camp. Spring camp starts when Tuesday or Wednesday or next week. I think the trajectory is heading up. Now you just got to put it all together and put it out on the field. So we can give a lot of coach speak. We can talk about, we can point towards the recruiting, we can point towards the coaching changes, we can point towards the strength, how these players are getting stronger. But we can even point towards, what we're putting into the league. When you talk about the two receivers that's headed out to the NFL and Lemon and Lane, some more players that's headed. I think Lucas is headed in. So, but until you start putting it on the field, man, and you capitalize and you turn that into wins, you know, it's going to be okay. Well, it's the same old SC that we've seen over the last 15 to 20 years. And then, next season it'll be the same thing. Well, hey, look, we thought USC last season was going to be USC season, but they disappointed again. So, but for the time being, I would say, hey, I agree. Our stock is headed up.
I'm talking on mute.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. Trojan first said it best. Why Saban got up out of Alabama, right? Even in his last couple of years, he was already trending down while he was there. Especially with NIL and everybody being able to pay now.
right.
Uh, Unfortunately, well, I ain't gonna say unfortunately, but the SEC is at a disadvantage. Colin Coward, he said it best, right? He said the SEC NIL is based off a lot of car dealerships. He said that's all good. No, but check this out, and it made sense. He said the SEC NIL based off car dealerships. He said, but the Big Ten make cars, right? And so you
Yeah,
got to think about the Michigan, and you know what I'm saying. Not so, and you might say, so what's the difference between making cars and dealership? Well, the car maker sells the car to the dealership. So the
right.
car makers, your
You talk about the
Ford and all
you talk about the manufacturers being up north. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, they got more money. They're big boosters. Not only that, they got Hollywood in tech and things like that.
Right,
So they are at a disadvantage. Oh well, you had an advantage for years with your brown paper bag. Coach O even told us. You know what I'm saying? What he
right.
say? Instead of going through the back door, you can go
You
through the
coming
front
in the
door.
front. Yeah, you coming in the front now.
Right. So it is what it is. But I definitely agree with the structure we have in place now, recruiting back at a high level, putting the wall around California,
Mhm.
NIL, that's the biggest thing, right?
Right.
Having that NIL funds and things together, the new facility, right? Getting the new facilities and everything that's promised. We're definitely trending up, right? Um, can definitely see it in recruiting. We've seen it on the field, right? Last year we took a jump from the previous year, right? To only
Right.
lose 3 games in the regular season. So everything is trending up. Now it's just to continue to ride that wave of momentum. Can't come out this year and flop. We just got to keep trending up. But I do agree that the program is on the rise to get him back to where we need to be. I do think this year is pivotal, right? To keep this momentum going. You don't want nothing to stop that. The momentum, the 27 recruiting so far. No complaints with it. I know it's gonna keep going. We still got a few more people to get to fill this class up, but I think this class is still going to be another. Of course, the 26 class we'll look back on and say, man, we probably will never get that again. You know what I'm saying? Just from the sheer numbers, and I mean,
Right.
it's so
Right.
talented. It's so talented too.
It
It's
is.
so
It is
talented.
talented.
But recruiting is definitely back up. Definitely getting top players out of California. Definitely being able to pick and choose from different states and bring in top players. So our program is definitely on the rise.
Right. Definitely.
I'm gonna stop sharing. You can go ahead and put that link
Okay.
in, and people can hop in here for a minute.
There's the link right there. Um,
Hey,
hit that link.
so why they
Appreciate
call in? My boy Guns. Guns said we ain't giving up 28 points again to San Jose State.
I hope not.
Defensively, hey,
I hope not, man.
defensively, week zero. What's the number you for you to feel good? Does it not matter about the number? Do you just want to see them play better? But do you have a number to where you say we need to hold San Jose State below this number?
We're gonna let Young Tiny answer that. Young Tiny, man, welcome to the show, bro.
Love one.
What up, loved ones? What's up, B
What's going
Jinx?
on? What's going on?
You know me. I feel like last year, man, when we played them lesser opponent teams, man. If you asking me for a score, I want to donut them. I
Right.
want. I mean, that's just. I'm just being real. I
Hmm.
want. I want to. I want to donut them, man. I want our defense to come out playing fast and hard, man, and I want to donut them. That's what I want. But I don't need to see that to know that we're trending up on the defensive side. As long as I think it'll be an eye test. We see we taking care of business, and not making the mistakes that we made in the past, and just look fluttered until the second half when they come out and play, then I'll be okay. They don't need to be putting up no 20 points or 28 points or nothing now. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand they're still a Division I college. They have athletes over there. You know what I'm saying? And everybody on that team ain't just not good because they're at San Jose State. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Right.
So, I still put some respect on their name. They're a D1 school in the central, well, they're in the Bay Area of California. So they have athletes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sleep on them. Shoot, I was recruited by San Jose State. So,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? So,
So, Young Tiny,
yeah.
let me ask you a question. Considering that spring camp is virtually next week, right? They kick it off
Hmm.
next, and of course, we're not going to see a spring game. But from a defensive perspective, we know
Hmm.
what we're running. Gary Patterson, he's the innovator of the 4-2-5. What type
Hmm.
of what type of personnel do you expect to see out there? When we talk about projected starters, what type of personnel are you looking for seeing out there on the field?
As far as personnel,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who are you looking at? Who are you looking at potentially coming out there and grabbing these positions by the horn and stepping out on the field? Day one.
are you asking me for my projected starters?
Yeah,
Is that a
that's what.
more
Yeah,
precise?
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm asking.
um,
You know,
you know
trying to
me,
tell them it's
huh?
hard. They won't let us. It's hard. They won't let us see no spring game.
Yeah. I mean, why I do
Oh,
feel
no
like
game.
I feel like there's a couple, even though we know it's gonna be open competition and if somebody win it, they gonna win it. I still feel like it may be a couple positions that's maybe locked, like, and that's just tentatively. But that's hard just to give you a 11. I got an 11 I could give you that I would like to see, but I don't like doing that because
Well, give me one surprise that you. Well, give me one player that you know for certain is going to be out there. Just one on that defensive side.
oh, if when he get through that surgery and if his shoulder good, CP for sure gonna be back there for sure. If everything's okay with his shoulder, CP gonna be back there.
Okay.
That's for sure. Desmond Stevens is gonna be out there. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Jaden Walker, Tamir Robinson is gonna be out there. I'm not saying who gonna play the most reps. You just asking me who I think for sure we gonna see on the field.
Right.
John, that corner from that corner transfer, the number one dude, John Tez
John
Williams,
Tez. John Tez.
he gonna be out there.
Okay.
And
Yeah, he
see,
not
I could
playing
just
in the
keep going
spring.
on. I don't even know why you asked me that question because I could keep just naming everybody because it's gonna be a rotation. But I could run through them other questions, y'all just the fourth down questions real quick.
Yeah,
Or
go ahead, my man.
I
Go
could
ahead.
I could do that better. All right. Let
Running
me
back
see.
up
What
there.
was the first down? The first down was the transfer portal infraction changes.
I
Yeah.
believe
Was that
so.
what that, if I'm
That's
not
right.
mistaken?
Yep.
Shoot, I'm cautiously optimistic. Like stricter enforcement, that could stabilize rosters more and make transfers feel less like free agencies. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it's just crazy, bro. All that movement and dudes not getting the education, they leaving every spring. Like it's dudes that we know. It's a guy on our that used to be with us that's at his fourth school. in as many years. You know what I'm saying?
I think I know who you were talking about.
I know you do, but
Yeah,
major penalties could also spark like legal union pushback. But it can impact like competitive flexibility though. But I like this transfer portal ideal, but I think Chris said earlier, I think we need to still put like a more like, okay, if you transfer as a youngster, you got to either sit out a year or you know what I'm saying, you got to shirt that year, or you know what I'm saying? I feel like it shouldn't just be like, oh, you could just enter the portal as it is. I like how they took away the spring window. You know what I mean? Because people could commit, come on campus right now, then enter again in the spring, and it's like, bruh, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's my thought, huh?
You remember that happened with us when we got the Texas A&M ranked, the big
Yeah,
line from Texas A&M came in
yeah.
the spring,
Isaiah Rake, yeah, and got on, and got on. I definitely feel like, as a fan, bringing back the spring game would be great. It's great for engagement, early looks at the rosters, tradition. But from a competitive standpoint, I understand the concerns about the scouting, tampering, and player development are understandable.
But there's no spring window no more, so can't nobody
I
tamper
get
with
it.
them. They still got
Yeah, I
bid
get
the
it.
whole next season.
I get that. But you could tamper and get at a player, and they keep that in the back of their mind, especially if they don't get no run. And then as soon as that portal window come, they gone. You know what I'm saying? But from a competitive standpoint, I understand that part. But player development is understandable. I just feel like for fans, the alternative is gonna be like fans events, and I don't know. I just I like it. I want the spring game. You know what I'm saying? I want it. I feel like it benefits team culture and recruiting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What was second down? I think the interviews, was that what it was? The interviews with most impressive position coach or something. Is that what was that second down?
Yeah, which coach spring interview impressed you the most and why?
I'm gonna go different than y'all because both of y'all had excellent. First, let me say this: I'm not gonna say against GP, but I wasn't on the GP train. I'm not even gonna front, but I liked it, his press conference, man. I liked it what he was saying. I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm a man enough to admit that I was not on the. You know what I'm saying? But as a USC Trojan fan, I'm gonna rock with us whatever we do. But he was impressive. But mine will be I'm gonna go with Trayvon Reed. He stood out to me. The energy and the ability to sell the vision for our young players, our talented secondary, especially with guys like when he was mentioning like the RJ Sermons progressing and transfer Jontez Williams being in his eyes the number one player in the whole transfer portal, was his recovering, what I'm saying? Came through the strongest amongst the position group coaches. To me, he balanced like accountability with confidence, and you could tell he clearly connects with his players. You know what I'm saying? He said he came back for what reason? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just lead him. Like, he had other opportunities, you know what I'm saying? Just like Chad Savage did. They could have left too. You know what I'm saying? But that stood out to me, man, and how he was just, breaking down like what players, man, is in his office before him. And that just stood out to me. That just, to me, I love this energy. I love this vision. And I loved how he just balanced that accountability with confidence. And like I said, you could surely see that he connects with his players. All right. But yeah, honorable mention for sure is our D coordinator and the linebacker coach for sure. And then my coach of the year prediction, I'm gonna go a different way than y'all. I'm gonna say
you said Riley, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Riley. And why I'm gonna say that is because I respectfully feel like if we take a notable step forward offensively, we already know we're an offensive juggernaut, but we are balancing skilled players, like you was stating, the connection and stuff, even our running backs and our offensive line. Right. Even though I'm one that truly believe just because we bring back all 5 starters, that don't necessarily mean every one of them gonna start. You feel me? But it's still great to have all 5 starters returning. So offensively, we good, but you still want to see a step forward. And the new defensive staff, if that improves the defense, Riley could easily be coach of the year in the Big Ten, from the Big Ten, especially, starting off with this week 0 win, having the expectations to win in year 5 of his tenure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Riley could easily be coach of the year in the Big Ten, from the Big Ten, especially, starting off with this week 0 win, having the expectations to win in year 5 of his tenure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think You know, I just feel like if things go wrong, we gonna blame Riley. We ain't gonna blame these position coaches. I mean, yeah, we blame the Grinch, we blame this and that, but we still ultimately blame Riley because Grinch was on staff. So I just feel like if we gonna blame Riley when things go wrong, oh, I told y'all this year 5, he should be out of there. If things go right, he the head coach, he need to get it too.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know,
Yeah, that's just me
it's a
though. That's
party.
just my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's
that's
just I don't know if that makes sense to everybody in the
Nah,
chat or y'all too, but that's
it
just my
do. It do,
yeah.
young Tom, because as the USC community, I see it all the time. Everything good, it's Bowden and Cohen. Anything bad
Right.
is Riley, right?
right.
So like so they 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 give
But
everybody
isn't that the life
whenever
of
it's
a head
good,
coach
whenever
though?
it's
Isn't
good,
that
they
a
get the credit
yeah?
elsewhere. Whenever it's bad, then they'll, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We can sign a 5-star. Oh, Bowden and this and this. And then we can have a 5-star elite. Lincoln Riley need to be keeping players. How you let
Yeah.
this player go away to coach? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
so I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So that'll be my mine's on that. Coach of the year prediction to be, but I do want to see GP improve the defense. I like, the mix up, being that we lost a couple of formidable coaches or whatever. I like, the shake up. I just hope it all come together like gumbo, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding with the Trojans. As far as the thoughts on I think next was the thoughts on the week 0 game.
Yeah.
Um, as a Trojan fan, I think of it as a warm up winning opportunity. You know what I'm saying? A game we should definitely control. Get
Hey,
reps for the
B
deaf
call them
guys.
preseason.
Huh?
B call them preseason.
Yeah, he
Yeah, what
called
they
it
are. They
preseason.
preseason games, man.
Yeah, yeah, but I feel like it's a warm up win opportunity, a preseason game, as BG say. Again, we should definitely control, get reps for the deaf guys, our young guys, as we alluded to earlier, and build momentum before like Big Ten play begins. There's some. I'm not gonna say fan frustration, but I've been seeing in the media the narratives is, oh, we didn't want Notre Dame, but we go get San Jose State. We would have took Notre Dame if they want to play week 0.
Right.
Right. We
We
tried.
you feel me? We not
Yeah.
finna play y'all up there with Indiana and all them mixed it up in there in week 9, 8, 7, 6,
Yeah.
10.
All
Like,
beat up.
no,
Yeah.
we
All
we
beat
not we
up.
not singing to y'all tune, bro. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
there was some frustration. It's not a bigger opponent, after that Notre Dame series pause, but it's still a manageable contest to kick off the year and set a tone for the season. You know what
You
I'm
have to.
saying?
You're absolutely correct, young Tiny. You have to manage your schedule,
Come on,
man.
man.
And the SEC been getting away with it for years,
Come on,
man.
man. They
They've
playing,
been-
man. They
yeah.
playing Tennessee Southern or just
Right.
some
Right.
way
Right. Right.
some
Right.
way out
Right.
stuff. You know what I'm
West,
saying?
yeah,
West
West Georgia
West
community. Yeah,
Kentucky or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they've
Like,
been
come on.
strategic with it, and that's how they end up,
Yep.
outside of ESPN. That's how they end up. That's how they always end up, at the end of the season, pretty much intact from a physical standpoint. I know that
Right.
everybody's going to go through attrition, but by the time they get to the end of the season, right before that rivalry game, they got another warm up game. So you have to be strategic when you're making out that schedule too.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Um,
J.A. my man, welcome to the show.
what up, Jay? As as far as the program trending up, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was next.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that was it.
I
That was
feel like the program absolutely is trending up. Right now under Lincoln Riley, he's still our head coach. The energy alone around USC football is different. Like we've been on a recruiting momentum increase. It's strong. The talent level is climbing. You know what I'm saying? The defensive staff adjustments show that we're serious about like fixing past weaknesses. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? And the roster looks deeper, more physical. We always saying we need to be better aligned for Big Ten competition. Like you guys alluded to earlier, our offensive line, massive. You get what I'm saying? Our defensive line, we got these 300-pound guys now, like over 300 pounds, and it to me, honestly, you guys, if I'm tripping, but this is how I feel. It doesn't feel like a rebuild anymore. It feels like a program, like we're reloading with real, like we have real expectations now. You know what I'm saying? And if, in my opinion, if development matches our recruiting, we positioning ourselves to be a nationally relevant again. Not just flashy on offense, but like complete on both sides of the ball. You feel me? So I mean, that's where I feel. That's how I feel. Yes, we trending up in a more concise way, but that was just adding on a little like why I feel like we're along with the facilities and all that come into play. But I just feel like the time is now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying national championship or bust. You know what I'm saying? But I just, like we always say with the eye test, we need to just see us in completing those games that we were so close at. I don't want to hear the head coach talking about, oh, we're one play away from this. Well, we got to make that play now. You know what I'm saying?
Not
Like
in
we
year five,
got.
he gave you saying that in year 5, huh?
We got to make that play now, and I feel like, and very rightfully so, he's right. But he's right. It was numerous times that we were a play away, a down away, a this away. But it's time to start making those plays now. You know what I'm saying?
You mentioned it earlier about Riley getting blamed. Unfortunately, that comes along with the job, young Tiny. When things don't go right, it's going to fall at his feet. And
yeah,
you're absolutely correct. We can't.
But when things do go right, you better give them the same flowers that y'all was willing to take.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
JA, you there? JA, you there?
I'm here, brother. How y'all doing?
Man?
What up, Jay?
Hey, what's going on, young Tiny? How you doing? What's up,
Greg? What's going on, man? I didn't think your mic was working. It's like you.
Hey, I was on my I have my other phone and it doesn't go to StreamYard very well. So yeah.
He was listening to his boy Tiny cooking. That's what he was doing.
He was cooking. Hey, young Tiny, to piggyback on one of your points, with moving forward, and we're in a blessed and great position. Is that I think with the defensive coordinator, GP Gary Patterson, that's like a huge hire that a lot of us don't see, because we basically have 2 head coaches on deck, right?
Right.
And then we have a coach that knows what to do with less talent, or also I'll say knows what to do with freshmen. So with him being on the squad, he's our coach. He's going to be able to know what to do with those kids, teach them up. Like I've been hearing, like how the defensive now is more simpler. To like the transaction between him and the players is a lot more simpler than what it was. Now, would it be kind of? Oh, and then I was listening the other day. I guess he lets his defensive staff call, he's the ultimate one who calls everything, but he lets when they put the calls in, the linebackers, the safety, the defensive line, they're all only signaling their guys. And I think that's powerful because you don't ever really hear about that.
Yeah, that's big.
And each freshman coming in, oh man, I heard Carter saying, "Are the freshmen ready?" or something like that. And I was listening on another line. I'm like, I think they are. And with a coach like Gary Patterson and with everything that we have going on with the new facilities coming, I think these kids. I don't think we're gonna be losing a lot of kids to the transfer portal, to be honest with you.
And it's a lot of kids, like they on campus right now. And let me hit it to everybody with a disclaimer, because I heard what you heard, Jay, when the discussion is like, oh, out of such and such and such and such, who you think is ready to make impact now. I know a lot of people don't know about Taylor Johnson, but I'm telling y'all, he's not as small as y'all think. I'm telling you from personal experience. He's not
of the city, young China, or does he
from San Bernardino? From Cajon. He's not as small as y'all think. He bigger than that.
Kid is a monster.
He's bigger than that linebacker that transferred, the one that was playing special teams. He bigger than y'all think. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. I know.
Well, I know this for a fact because I seen the kid play last year, right? He 210, right? No, they got him at his junior, when he was a junior in high school. Like they got his weight and his his measurables. Like when he was a junior, like that kid has grown a lot.
He
So
has,
And balled out again.
What is he now?
and he's got bigger since he's been on campus. The last
Exactly.
couple months, he's gotten bigger.
What is he by 225 now?
He up there, like I would say, probably. I get the definite. I'll reach out and get the definite, but I'm thinking he like 6'2".
Yeah, I'm still saying 6'1", 210.
Yeah, see, nah, that ain't updated.
That kid is not that size. He wasn't even that size.
He was that size in his junior year of high school.
His junior year.
When he had 180 some tackles, he had 209 tackles his last year.
I was about to say that, young man. I'm glad you brought that up. I did hear that the kid was a tackling machine.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
And I just want to put that out there because I be just hearing from the background and I never really I don't like to speak up on things I don't know. I be knowing a lot more than what people probably know, especially him. That's like I know his family, like he right here. So but he bigger than people think. Yeah, he got room to grow though. He got to get more it's always room to grow, get that bulkiness on him, that more, that girth, that man strength girth. But he bigger than what but he bigger than what people think.
Oh, he's a lot bigger than what you think. Watch when he hit the field this year. Watch.
So I want to ask J.A. the same thing I asked Young Tiny. If you could pick one player from off of the defense, I know we can't. I know it would be kind of hard by us not seeing the spring game who we expect to come in and start on that defense. But if you could pick one for sure player to come in and start day one on that defense, who would it be?
As a freshman or as one of the
anybody, because it's an open slate now. It's open competition. One person, anybody, freshman, senior, no matter who would it be.
The number one person who's coming in on defense starting next year is Jakeem Stewart.
Okay.
I mean, the number one person coming in next year that we already know. I guess I mean I'll go away from this, but obviously, Jaden Maiava is going to start. But I mean, there,
you just talking about just defense only.
Just defense only? Just defense only? Like at all three levels?
Jay, you can't take the layup. He's gonna try to take the layup with mine.
No, okay.
He's gonna take the
layup. What's the kid who plays slot? I mean, not slot. Slot corner. What's the one? He got hurt last year. He's from Michigan.
Alex Brown.
Yeah, for sure. He guaranteed day one starter.
I was going to say the same thing.
He guaranteed. When I seen him in the last two games, I'm like, oh man, if we would have had him all year, our defense would have looked way different.
Alex Graham definitely gonna be in there.
I'm hearing that they're talking about potentially moving him to safety. Have you guys heard that?
Yeah, I heard that, but it's also going to depend on how those safeties look. And then Christian Pierce is out for spring, which is going to get him more reps at safety.
And then what's his name is back that missed all last year. So depending on how he look, ain't nobody talking about Prophet Brown. People forgot about him.
They had him slated to play nickel, didn't they, Tiny? Prophet Brown.
Yeah, he was supposed to start it. Yeah, he was. He was
going to start over Alex Graham.
Yeah, and then when it was out for the season and all that, that's when Alex Graham stepped up and was going to be the projected starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we put Little Longstreet in there. I'm not trying to knock nobody, but
yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people this ain't the defensive side, but I feel like a lot of people not talking about how they forgetting about Prophet Brown. I think a lot of people forgetting about that tight end JC transfer too.
Oh yeah, he's nice.
Josiah.
Yeah.
Josiah
Jefferson.
Yeah. And I'm glad you
3 tight ends gonna play for sure. We love the transfer from Wisconsin, and everybody just looking at him as a big blocker. Yeah, he's gonna be a big blocker, but if you know Lincoln Riley, then you know.
I'm glad you brought that up, Young Tiny. When we talk about the tight ends that we lost, of course, McCreek went to the draft. You had Walker Lyons that transferred to BYU.
Pocket watching and transferred on him.
Yeah. So we lost a lot of production on the receiving part because we lost also Lemon and Lane. I think that's why Jaden was so affected in that bowl game. He lost a lot of targets. He lost a lot of production. We talk about
Yeah, but they also had that kid that came in last year from Folsom, who actually looked good in that Texas A&M game. They keep talking about him. He didn't get as many targets. Oh, I can't think of his name right now. But you guys remember the kid we got last year as a freshman this year, and he played DN and tight end in high school.
Talking about the youngster that played in the bowl game.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Uso dude that played. The Uso that played.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think he has to. Jay Miles is going to have to get the chemistry down definitely in the springtime. I think that's why Riley. This is just my conjecture. I think Riley's going to more so lean on that run game next season, especially if we got a huge offensive line. Like we're projected to have a huge offensive line. Unless he can get that, unless Jay Miles can get, we're going to have a lot of youth at receiver. Unless
I think our offense will look really good if it looked like how we need Jayden to be like. I mean, not verbatim or not like exactly like, but like a Fernando Mendoza. All he's doing is playing a position. We don't
need him to throw 40 times a game.
Yeah, we don't need him to do 30 to 40 times a game. Yeah.
Well, guess what? The games that we threw that many times was why.
Yeah.
We couldn't run the ball. So it's going to come down to, can we run the ball?
Can we run the ball?
Riley leaned into the run last year. He was balanced when we could run the ball. When we got in those games and could no holes get opened up,
right?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? That I don't care what quarterback you put in there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just everybody ain't a Caleb Williams where they can go out and throw 40 times and don't throw an interception. Every quarterback that was in college this year, from Mendoza to the kid from Miami, all of them.
Carson Beck,
whenever they threw 40 times, they threw you an interception or two. When you can't run the ball and stay balanced, and a team can get pressure with 4 and drop 7, you're going to throw an interception, and you're going to have a hard time moving the ball. So we have to be able to run the ball. Earlier, Young Tony, you made a good point too, that you said about having our 5 starters back on offensive line, and just because they all come back don't mean it's going to be the starter. That's a good thing too. Well, I'm saying that because it's competition. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The best place wins. But another thing we have to be careful about too is just because you got all 5 of your offensive linemen come back, if they're not coached up, if they're not working hard, and they don't take that next level, it means nothing. We seen the Illinois team this year that did what? Return all 5 of their offensive linemen, the whole defense. They had their whole team back from the season that they went 9-3 the year before. They came back and did the same thing again and flop. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Chris, but don't you think? I think, well, from my perspective and what I've seen this year, I think our offensive line coach has proved he's the real deal.
Yeah. I don't know if he was on earlier. He was the interview I said I liked the most, because he could have easily got on there and brag and been cocky and all that, but he told the honest God truth evaluation, and stated what they're working on, what they need to get better, and what the focus is going to be. And I love it. And it was their mentality, being more physical, not just covering people up, but being physical and pushing, moving people off the ball, especially he said, especially in those upper echelon games when you know what I'm saying, when you got to have it. You know what I'm saying? Pushing jokers off the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I like it. And I seen what he did in year 1, right? And to have those guys back, I think he'll have those guys ready again.
Right.
And get them to get to that next level, which he's saying. He was like, last year we did some good things, but we nowhere near played well enough to contend for a national championship. And for us to get there, and for us to be where we want to be, this is what we got to do, and this is what we're going to do. And it didn't sound like coach talk to me. It sounded like word is bond. You know what I mean?
Well, the talent level is higher. And then like, okay, imagine now we have the talent, the Kenye Pepes, even the Elijah Page, or even just all the kids that are coming in. Imagine that. Imagine what we would have done in these past couple of years. And I mean, we can all look back in the past, but we was right there in line to get a Josh Connolly. And I mean, he's in the league now. But could you imagine us have him, and then Francis Mayoga, who's going to be a 1st-round pick? He was supposed to be an SC guy too.
Mm-hmm. Good
That
point.
changes the whole line. Like, you know, and then if we would have kept the what's the kid that went over to
Pregnon.
Pregnon, that's
Mhm.
an
Well,
That's an
you know
NFL line right there.
well, you know what the situation with Pregnant was about. Come
Oh
in
yeah.
last minute. Yeah. We know what that was about.
Yeah, but
Right.
he just saying like we've been in position for it
Yeah.
to have the dominant offensive line in the past, but like how we lost those two Georgia recruits. So it that like we all attest to that everything come together. It's more than just one aspect of it, but that NIL was big. You know what I'm saying? Getting our NIL situation together was big.
Let
Which
me
is
ask you a
Mhm.
amazing by
question.
the staff.
Let me ask you a
Right.
question. Do you think that we got it together at the right time?
Yes.
Or is it
Yeah.
or is it more
Yeah.
so of okay, the Riley's backers up against the wall, and we had no other choice. Do you more so think there was just right time for him and timing is everything with this, or could it have played out earlier and we wouldn't be in the position that we're in now with the coaching staff, with us, with Riley growing as a coach? Was it well, I'll say this. Riley didn't do himself any favors by winning 11 games his first season.
I remember I said that. I always said
Yeah.
that.
He didn't do himself any because if you
If
come
he'd have
in
been like 9-3 or something like that, it would have
a
like,
gradual build, right? So if you come in
Yeah.
like that, what is you telling the boosters? What are you telling the donors? Like, hey, well, you really don't need our help. You know what I'm saying? You winning
hmm
without it. I think that
Mhm.
was why a lot of them dragged their feet, and it took reality hitting them to show, okay, in order for us to compete and get to where we want to be, we don't have to, up the game when it comes to that NIL. So
Yeah.
is this the right time right here is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like cautiously optimistic that we made significant progress in the NIL front. Like we've been creative with NIL opportunities. We've been leveraging like the LA market, strong donor support, high profile brands, to keep the talent happy and engaged. Like, but nothing is perfect in the NIL landscape, especially as chaotic it is. We just learned that with losing Pregram, right? Because we had our NIL game together, and he still got on, right? They swooped in at the last minute, right? But I
Nah,
just feel like,
we didn't get NIL together till after Pregnant left.
oh, that was after. Okay, so
Yeah.
we didn't have him.
Well,
Okay, I thought we had got it together, but we were.
Pregnant left not last December, but the December before. We didn't get our
Okay.
NIL and Chad until January, February of 2025.
Okay,
We left
yeah, you're right,
Yeah,
but I
we got
still feel
ours
like
right when Chad Bowman.
when
Chad
but I
came.
feel like,
Yeah.
but I feel compared to the uncertainty and turnover of a few years ago, it feels like it has gotten, what I'm saying, like the timing is right, B Jinx, as you're saying, to be competing at a competitive level. You know what I'm saying, to keep our core players, attract key transfers as we seen we did from the Fitzgeralds to the, even if we didn't get our return on investment back, you know what I'm saying, we went after the quote unquote best players that attracted the best players that was ranked in the portal. Like I say, we probably didn't always get our return back, you know what I'm saying, but we did, like in the Fitzgerald, and you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
and we've been able to recruit at an elite level. We see that with the 26 class, you know what I'm saying, and that's a big part of why the roster momentum feels good to me heading into 2026.
Right. Okay. I got it. Makes sense. Make perfect sense.
I feel like one of my mentors, like, it's funny, we're sitting down today. One of the things he's always told me, he was like, real estate is all about location to have success. Business is all about timing to have success. USC has both. They have the location, and then they also have the timing right now. Because in everything that we've been through at the university and all of our fans and everything for the last several years has brought it to this point. And it brought it to the point of now, I feel like, and I have a strong sense, we may not be the top of the NIL, but we're right there. And then nobody else could beat out our location. And location, not only where we are in regards to the university, but like where we can spring our board to. Meaning, like, we got Vegas right here, we got Northern California, Central California, Southern California, you have Arizona, and then and then with the location part of it, it's so big because we can spread our wings, and we have somebody like Riley and all these different coaches that have been from all over that could go to Louisiana and get a Jakeem Stewart. They could be able to go down to Florida and grab kids. They could be able to go to Texas and grab kids, and they could bring them into a location. And then also with what we're doing, I'm telling you, that new facility is going to be a game changer.
Right.
Do you guys imagine all the kids that we've been recruiting? And they go to Oregon, they go to Georgia, they go to Alabama, they go to Miami, they go to all these other places, Texas, and they see their facilities, and ours is probably 3-4 tiers lower than their facilities, and they still come to SC. But now SC's gonna have the top tier, the number one. Oh man, with Chad Bowden, let's go. Gary Patterson, let's go.
Yeah.
And a new president. That's a great president, by the way.
I agree 100. Well,
what is Joe Boyd talking about? Why did we sign Kojay if he's going to be redshirt? Bro, you got to get the freshman elite talent in. Everybody's not guaranteed to.
I
don't understand what
I think he was talking about. I think somebody mentioned something about him potentially starting at center. A few comments back, he said Kojay should be the starter at center.
Yeah, but that's we don't know. We like Chris alluded to earlier. That was Hansen speaking on the offensive line and where we are, and you know what I'm saying, the shuffling, basically not shuffling for sure, but just cross training different people at different positions. We don't know what the line gonna be like. You know what I'm saying? That's tentative. That's not nothing set in stone. And I feel like we could all feel that the only true freshman that we know for sure that's gonna come in and potentially start is Bowden from a tight end from Mater Dei, maybe. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's if our first offensive play is 12 personnel or something. We might come out with 2 backs and 1 tight end, and it'd be the tight end from Wisconsin to run the ball.
Right.
So we gotta remember
the kid we got from JUCO. He's legit. Yeah. He's a little inexperienced too. He's a basketball convert.
Yeah, but I think he'll complement the Mater Dei kid with the pass catching ability. B. Jink said earlier, losing that production as far as receptions.
But it's one tight end y'all had mentioned though, man. We had mentioned the whole show.
Walter Matthews?
Yeah.
Where he at?
Oh yeah.
I don't know where he at.
We got talent. We got 6 tight ends.
With his
we got this little youngster.
3 incoming, but yeah. We got him. We got Walter Matthews, Joey Olsen, not to even mention Carson Tabarachi. So it's left 7, really. They're going to be all right.
I thought we had more than that to lead. I know we had Walker Lyons in the lead. I thought we had another tight end in the lead, though.
Walter Matthews, Carson Tabarachi, Joey Olsen. And then we got the 2 coming in.
Hold on. Wasn't it Olsen?
Joey Olsen didn't transfer out. He's still at SC. We got 7. We got 7 tight ends. No, 8 with the kid from Wisconsin.
Oh. No, Joey Olsen did transfer out.
Yeah, I thought.
Are you sure?
Did transfer out.
Yeah, he transferred. I thought so.
Oh, we got 7 then. We got 7.
Yeah, Olsen left. I thought so.
Olsen transferred out.
Where'd he go?
I think it was a smaller level, wasn't it?
Okay.
Smaller level.
Well, we got 7. I'm sure we can work with that.
I just think that we're gonna have to Riley gonna have to really lean on that running game next season, man. Especially if we can get Waymo to stay healthy all season long. I think
it's gonna come down to if we can get the offensive line to move some body, open up some holes.
Yeah.
And don't sleep on those 2 freshmen coming in.
Most definitely. Well, man, we appreciate you guys joining live with us, man. Of course, everybody that came on. Light the Torch. Shout out to Light the Torch joining us. Joe Tobiah always being on here. I don't know where Leon is today, man. He might be recovering or something like that. But Joe Boy, appreciate you. Trojan first. We appreciate you coming on to the live. Of course, J.A., my man, we always appreciate you. You're always welcome back to the live. Young Tiny, my man, can't say enough about the insight that you give, the value to give to this show, man. We appreciate guys like you, our listeners out there that tune in once a week I know we're not gonna have a spring game, but maybe we can get some cliff notes or something. Maybe it's somebody that can go out to the spring game and give us some type of insight whether or not they just did what did they do last season? Some type of Trojan Olympics or something like that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be doing the same thing. It's supposed to be the same thing.
Yeah. Somebody, from out there can, give us some insight on it, what the players are looking like, what the vibe is like out there. Other than that, we got a long offseason.
I don't know. Because people came back last year from that talking about the defense line was gonna be the best defense line in the country in the Big
You ain't gonna let that go, are you, man?
Defense gonna carry the team, so I don't know. We want reports back.
Yeah. But we got a long offseason, so we'll be back next week. J.A., man, go ahead and shout out what you got, your social media and what you got going on before we get up out of here.
Oh, you guys could just follow me, John Carl Alexander, on Instagram. That's basically all I have on social media, other than like Facebook or whatnot. I own a kitchen cabinet. We do kitchen remodels business, and I also have a furniture business. So if you guys need to reach out, then let me know. And anybody need any hookup on the USC tickets, you guys can hit any of these guys. They know how to get a hold of me, and I got you guys. Especially when the schedule comes out, the best time to get the tickets.
Appreciate it, Jay.
Or like when the date and the times come out. Yeah.
Jay, no, you give your contact information, though. I ain't playing the middleman. I don't want them reaching out to me to get to you.
Young Tiny, man. Young Tiny, you got any parting words, man? Or you got anything you want to shout out real quick?
Raul, I believe you last year till I got to week 1 to week 0 and seeing how we was playing about that defensive line. I believed you last year.
Young Tiny, you there? I don't know if we lost him or not. Hold on. Young Tiny, you there?
And I appreciate you, brothers, as well. Always rocking. And Chris, I'm still working on trying to prove my point that day.
What you talking about?
What we was talking about? What cat? Who was leaving?
Oh
was
man, don't get back on that.
Y'all got me that one. Y'all got me on that one, man. You got me.
Yeah. Chris, go ahead and take us out of here, man.
All right, man. We appreciate everybody, man. We'll be back next week. Man, appreciate everybody hopping in, that called in, all the comments. Shout out, you see Raul on the screen right there from Like the Torch. Guns was on, Blackie Chan, B Jones. Shout out to them, man. Make sure you guys go and check them out. They're on every Sunday and Wednesday. Yeah, be sure to go follow, check out their lives, man. Appreciate all the regulars. Tobias, I had like what Tobias said too. He said, man, we didn't take a class of 35 to play 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody just because we took 35 don't mean, now if they're good enough, like, let's go. But if not, some people is going to redshirt. But shout out to Fight on Natty's always coming through, Trojan first. I know I'm missing a couple of people. Joe Boyd, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Gil Ruiz. I don't know where my man Austin being. Trojan Fight. We got to find Austin, man.
And now we got to find J Dubs.
J Dub, man, yeah, y'all ran J Dub.
We'll apologize.
All of the J Dub, man.
We'll apologize, J Dub. We're not gonna let USC J press you again like that, man. We're not gonna let that.
But shout out to everybody, man. We about to get out of here until later on, everybody, man. Stay blessed and fight on, fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.